Are you looking for the best cheap phones for almost every budget? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best phones on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Google Pixel 8a. Google's Pixel 8a, 8 out of 10, Wired recommends, is the best smartphone you can buy for the money. At just $499, you get a little of everything, from wireless charging to top-of-the-line performance. It's powered by Google's Tensor G3 processor, the same that's inside the flagship Pixel 8 series, and that also means this mid-range phone gets 7 years of software support, a rarity at this price. This Pixel has a better OLED screen than its predecessor, meaning it gets even brighter and plenty visible on the sunniest days, and the 120Hz screen refresh rate makes every interaction feel fluid. The 6.1-inch screen is fairly compact, so it's great if you're eyeing a small phone. The whole thing also looks pretty budget, and mid-range phones tend to be super boring, but the Pixel 8a has a smart design with a matte rear texture. Plus, the new aloe color is gorgeous. Phones are personal, and they should look nice. Performance has been flawless in my testing. I covered Google I/O with this as my primary device, taking photos, navigating, using the Google Recorder app, and posting to social media. The downside is battery life. The 4492 mAh battery cell can last a day with average use, but heavy users will likely need to top up before bedtime. Keep a portable power bank handy. The cameras are the highlight of the Pixel series, and the Pixel 8a lives up to this legacy. It's easily the best camera phone for the money. It has a 64-megapixel main camera that snaps detailed, colorful, and sharp photos in any lighting condition. Joining it is a capable 13MP ultra-wide, and the 13MP selfie camera is solid, though the fact that it's fixed focus means your face is never perfectly sharp. The only issue I ran into is that Realtone, Google's image processing algorithm for different skin tones, hasn't been as accurate as on prior Pixels, specifically on brown skin. At number 2. Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. Samsung's Galaxy S24 FE technically has an MSRP of $650, but it's frequently on sale for $500, which makes it worthy of this guide. This is Samsung's light version of the Galaxy S24 series. I used it for several weeks with no performance issues with the Exynos 2400E chipset, and battery life with the 4700 mAh cell was decent, lasting a full day with average use. It still supports Samsung's Galaxy AI features, and you even get a triple camera experience with a 50MP primary shooter, a 12MP ultra-wide, and an 8MP telephoto with 3x zoom. It's uncommon to find the full trio of cameras at this price. More cameras make the phone more versatile, giving you options on how you want to frame your shot. Like the 2 phones above, this Android phone will get some of the longest software support compared to competitors in this bracket. It maintains all the other flagship perks you'd want, from Qi wireless charging and IP68 water resistance to a 120Hz AMOLED screen. It may look a little plain, but it's a great all-rounder. Just make sure you catch it on sale. It's worth noting that Samsung recently announced the 2025 Galaxy A series, which includes the Galaxy A36, A26, and A56. If you're after a cheap Samsung, it's worth waiting for those to arrive and see what they're like. We'll be testing them soon. At number 3. Nothing Phone 3a and Phone 3a Pro. Nothing's Phone 3a series are some of the best cheap phones you can buy. 8/10, Wired recommends. They're stylish, unique, and have all the things most people need in a phone. The devices Phone 3a and Phone 3a Pro are identical in all areas except cameras. The 50-megapixel main sensor on the Pro has slightly larger pixels than the one in the Phone 3a, meaning it can capture a little more light for better nighttime photos. It also has a 3x periscope telephoto sensor that lets it zoom in closer, whereas the cheaper 3a makes do with a 2x optical camera. If you use the cameras on your phone a lot, get the 3a Pro, which commands a slightly higher price, though the phone's bulky camera module causes a design imbalance that makes it a bit unwieldy. The Phone 3a looks better, and the cameras get reasonably close in image quality. Performance, driven by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7's Gen 3, is speedy. The 5000 mAh battery cell can last a full day of heavy use, 2 days with lighter activities, and the display is smooth, sharp, and bright. The phones are IP64 rated, so just be careful around the pool. The main caveats are the same as its predecessor. Nothing is selling these phones through a beta program in the US, meaning you need to sign up first to buy them. That's not a huge deal, just an extra step, but connectivity isn't a strong suit. The phone, 3A, series works best on T-Mobile. 4G will work on AT&T and Verizon, however, you'll need to contact the two carriers to whitelist your device for 5G access, which can be an annoying process, and may not even work. At number 4. Motorola Moto G Power. Last year's Moto G Power 2024 was a surprise favorite. It brought the convenience of wireless charging to sub-$300 phones in the US and was overall a relatively smooth-performing budget handset that also looked smart. The new Moto G Power 2025 mostly continues the trend, 7 out of 10, Wired recommends. The gorgeous green color, combined with the textured fake leather back, makes for a visually distinct budget smartphone. The 6.8-inch LCD screen is large and sharp and has a 120Hz screen refresh rate, and I didn't find its peak brightness lacking on sunny days. This slim phone has a 5000 mAh cell, and with average use, I managed to keep it going for 2 full days, though heavy users will only make that last a day. Wireless charging support is still present and remains a rare feature at this price. I like the convenience of not having to fish for a cable. At number 5. CMF Phone 1. I very nearly gave the CMF Phone 1, 9 out of 10, Wired recommends, the top spot in this guide, because it has almost everything you'd need in a phone for a shockingly low price of $239, originally launched at $199. Unfortunately, there are two barriers to accessibility. First, this phone is only available in the US via a beta, like the Nothing Phone 2A. CMF is a sub-brand of Nothing. That means you have to sign up for the beta, and once you've been accepted, you can purchase the device. The second barrier is that network coverage isn't rosy. It works best on T-Mobile, but you may have some spotty 5G coverage here and there. AT&T works, and while CMF says 5G isn't supported on the carrier, I had no trouble accessing 4G and 5G here in New York City. The company doesn't recommend using it on Verizon at all. If you don't mind the beta process and are on T-Mobile or AT&T, I highly recommend you give the CMF Phone 1 a shot. This is the prettiest phone you'll find for around $200, and there's a fun system that lets you attach various accessories via the accessory point, the circular screw on the bottom edge, like a kickstand, lanyard, or wallet. This system is fun, but hardly the main thing that makes this handset so good. That'd be the performance. The MediaTek Dimensity 7300 chipset with 8GB of RAM delivers ultra-smooth performance. I rarely saw any slowdowns or lag in my testing. It's the best performing phone for the money and even outperforms slightly pricier devices. Battery life is also impressive, with a 5000 mAh cell that often got me to 2 days of average use, and heavy users should still manage to end a day with around 30% left in the tank. And the display. It's a full HD 6.67-inch AMOLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate, and while it could stand to get a smidge brighter on super sunny days, it was more than fine most of the time. The camera system is hard to beat at this price, and CMF promises 2 OS upgrades and 3 years of security updates.